somehow Islamophobia is gunning down hopes and aspirations of poor nations. And in Karachi, my journalist friends, they told me that whenever they have some confusion over something, when the answer they don't get on Wikipedia or Google, they call up one person. He is Sir A.B.Shahid, and today we are here to ask him few questions and to play chess the way we have played earlier. Sir, welcome to our program.
My pleasure.
Somehow, few international media houses, they are creating a necessary illusion, which you know that Noam Chomsky has written about. So we got an idea about Pakistan, that Pakistan is nothing but another Ramallah maybe, or another warfield like the theater of Baghdad or theater of Twin Towers. But when I visited Pakistan for a professional reason and still visiting, I could see that the ground reality is quite different. It's a peaceful place. So what is your take on this question?
Well, Pakistan used to be a peaceful place, right, up to the point when the Americans decided, as you remember, back in 1978, 79, in fact 80, after Ronald Reagan had taken control of the United States, winning the elections. Until that stage, the Americans had not realized that there was an opportunity for them. And it was the then Secretary of State, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who realized that he could use this opportunity for what he called to give Russia its Vietnam. And that was the beginning of the trouble in Pakistan, because within Pakistan there were political differences between political parties, which is quite normal. I mean,
in democracy,
all over the world.
You have this.
But we didn't have the kind of violence that came afterwards. And then in that case also, in the first few years of this intervention by the United States in Afghanistan, violence was not taking place in Pakistan, it was confined to Afghanistan. The basic mistake that was made by then President of Pakistan, General Ziaul Haq, was that he didn't realize the consequences of taking part in such a venture. He had a problem because of the fact that he had overthrown an elected government and later on been responsible for what people call the hanging of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. He had this problem of validating his existence as the president, validating his takeover of the power in Pakistan. And for that, one of the suggestions that was made to him by the Americans at that time was that if you join hands with us in the so-called jihad of Afghanistan, you will get clearance from the West.
Now the kind of crusade we see between religious traders, be them Jews, be them Christians, be them Muslims, but the bottom line is business people, they have this only religion that is called business. But we ordinary people who are influenced and infected by mainstream media, how can we get rid of this Islamophobia or Christianophobia or this mindset of crusade?
My own feeling is that that's what I came to realize after, the last 40 years of my life after graduation, that when I was at the university and I was doing my MBA, the textbooks that we used to read did not propagate the idea of decimating your competitors. The ideas that we read, and they were also written by American authors, those books, were that companies that offer the best value for money have the best chance of survival.
What is the aim of business, sir?
Now, after that, you see that a radical change took place in the thinking in US universities. And my own feeling is that ever since some radical elements took roots in the US education system, the whole profile of education changed, because then the idea that was taught was not that you have to serve the best interest of the customer, offer the best value for money, and that's how success will come. The idea that were propagated after that were that you just have to somehow get rid of your competitor, destroy him, and if you can't destroy him, buy him out. You remember this concept of acquisitions and mergers to create massive enterprises which were at that time called too big to fail. The same enterprises are now called too big to support.
Earlier it was the international anthem, money, money, money.
Money. So the emphasis shifted from offering the best value for money to the customer to the fact that if you don't have a competitor, then you are the king, and then you can offer whatever rubbish you want to offer at whatever price you want to offer.
Now you see recession in America.
Yeah, that is the reason for it. That's the reason for it. One of the reasons for it, because one unfortunate thing that happened with the United States, which the United States still doesn't seem to realize, is the fact that if you insist that your currency